Hello, Wojciech Pietrzak here. I misclicked something. I hope I'm not streaming this, I'm only recording. And welcome to my ITSL game against Birder the Horrible, under which nickname we have Nick Doumpas, the Greek player, whom I believe I never met, although we are both active in the Twilight Struggle tournaments since about the same time, 2013. And what is more, I believe we are both on the similar level, although now he's stronger than me. No 4-up cards, so it's gonna hurt if he purges me and follows it with a blockade later on, but I think I'll take this risk and set up normally. And headline Middle East scoring. I don't know why I clicked this, but I certainly wanted to go 4-4-2, not 4-3-3. 4-3-3 used to be modern 5 years ago or so. But not any longer, except some very special circumstances like Marshall Plan and De Gaulle and Suez at the same hand. Okay, socialist governments, not great, not terrible, may cost me Italy if followed by a good coup. The obvious hold card is decoy. Go with Suez Crisis. Good enough, regretfully. So he discarded Suez so far, and he has access to France, so I'm taking France, and I believe I'm using Warsaw Pact form to activate it as soon as possible, just in case of NATO. Maybe it's even worth holding special relationship and spacing decoy just to be able to break Italy, because now that Suez and socialist governments are gone until turn 3, Great Britain is not really in danger. I will think about it a little later. Do I need to get rid of his access to Italy entirely? I don't think so. Access to the Mediterranean countries is provided anyway. So let's just keep this Yugoslavia a little vulnerable to independent threats, not that it ever matters. Okay, now I should have a little faster play. Alright. Because my attempt to streaming it finally ended by inability to connect with the server. +1 in Italy, so no normal breakthroughs. Yeah, Europe dominated so far. Let's delay it. I need build-ups, so I will probably coup. I don't have good coup targets, so it's probably gonna be Iraq, Korea. Was the first to space successfully. 5-year plan could be tempting. For the event, but this would be an exaggeration, I guess. Let's try this one. Oh, it worked. Marshall, if appears, is gonna be mostly wasted now, so I hope it appears in my hand. I can give NATO to his hand in return, provided he doesn't get you an intervention. The problem is, if I want to hold special relationship, I should space deco and play 5-year plan, and the question is what to do with Thailand and what to do with DEFCON. Well, I can't do anything with DEFCON, of course, because well, it's at 3 and my only couable target is Syria, so I can't drop it. Okay, let's space decal, because he may still play blockade. And I can't really afford losing West Germany if it can be avoided. So if I go to Thailand, he's gonna be able to coup it, and I have no counter coup. If I don't, he may headline Vietnam revolts. But then, with DEFCON at 4, he's not gonna be able to both take Thailand and protect it against couing. But if not Thailand, then what? Oh, now I would have a counter coup in Israel, but Israel shouldn't be really considered as a meaningful coup target. So let's place here and here just to avoid Vietnam revolts giving him immediate domination in Asia. Let's have access to Pakistan whatever happens. And let's have access to Turkey, because I feel accesses may be important now, and if I don't get Marshall, I may very easily be dominated in Europe. Well, if he gets the goal, I may as well. Really? What the hell is this? A terrible hand and no the goal, which he may have, and no better headline than Europe scoring. If this hand is purged, well, it's just a handful of ones instead of except Comic-Con and blockade the forced hold card. It is purged, damn it, but at least I got rid of Europe scoring before Romanian abdication came into play. So Romanian abdication should come into play quite fast, because I haven't seen independent Reds and Truman so far. But now I really hate what I'm just seeing. This game is actually quite important for this tournament. In our division so far, Nick is leading and I am third. The system is that leaders of all divisions advance further. He got rid of this. Whereas the other players advance or not depending on their percentage result. Yeah, and what now? His coup result was too good to attempt some counters, so I can take Afghanistan. But if he takes Malaysia in return, he's gonna be winning in Thailand. If I take Thailand, I must use Comic-Con. And he is gonna be able to coup it. So I can either take here Afghanistan and protect myself against immediate domination. I can do it the same with Malaysia and block him somewhat. I can risk coupping here, or I can coup somewhere else, for example South Korea, risking that he has the scoring now and is gonna cash the points. I'm going here so far. Maybe I shouldn't show him that I don't have Asia, but I'm totally blocked in the options of what I may play, actually. I mean, there are so many things I shouldn't do now, and I will have to do most of them sooner or later. For example, I will have to trigger Vietnam revolts. I will have to trigger Arab-Israeli war, maybe protecting Lebanon before. I will have to trigger Romanian abdication, giving him domination in Europe. So I will have to coup, and I will have to take Thailand somewhere in this turn. CIA created. Yeah. Distal the goal Indo-Paki, NATO UN intervention. And he got rid of the CIA. Wait. If I go to Thailand, he may only attempt to coup it with the CIA. Degrading DEFCON, it doesn't get much chance. On the other hand, I may drop DEFCON in my next action round and then take Thailand. Let's coup here. Of course, I'm not rolling very good. So let's drop DEFCON because I will need Thailand. Dropping DEFCON can be done here or in North Korea or in Israel. Now I rolled a 6, so this coup actually worked. Of course, it's nothing of a big value here. But hey, maybe I'm able to get rid of all this crap. After all, if he plays UN intervention with NATO, he's gonna play the entire hand, so he's gonna probably trigger Distal. He may trigger Distal now and get into Thailand, but this is not the full potential of Distal that can be used. And yes, of course, Romania is a good source of ops, but it's also a source of his European domination, so I think Finland, Indonesia and Yugoslavia are better targets. Yeah, Distal evented. Thailand taken, I guess. And I really don't think that not taking from Indonesia was a good call, because East Germany and Poland seem both to be much more important. Yes, I know I will have to give him Comic-Con. So let's get rid of this first, because maybe he makes the Vietnam revolt's question moot. I can't defend Asia any longer, after all. I just have to accept the fact that I am going to lose Asia. Another thing I could do would be coupping Venezuela with Comic-Con. But what I actually did doesn't leave him very many good options. Except coupping Iran, yeah, with NATO influence. Okay, let's coup Brazil, trying to cut him off from here. This was an important coup and failed brutally. But I had to protect Iran now. And this was the story behind this coup. Nasser is still somewhere in the deck. It doesn't look good, of course. The Middle East is volatile, the other regions are red, but the VP track is acceptable. So we are waiting for the mid-war. Of course, the fact that he doesn't have CIA hurts. Sorry that CIA is no longer in the deck. Because I'm gonna be steamrolled, or if I win this game, it's gonna last long. and be painful for me. And he doesn't seem to be willing to make some mistakes so far. Just said it, and this seems a mistake, certainly not convincing. What am I doing with this op? Well, let's attack Africa. Okay. And another poor hand. Asia, about which he knows. So good headlines. Asia scoring is perfectly bad headline. If I'm perched, nothing really seems good here. But let's go with East European unrest threatening Romania clearance with Truman and threatening immediate scoring Europe without his domination. Not without his domination. Blah. Okay, he gave me some points. He took me some France. He didn't leave me any good views for the future. NATO, what can I do with you? Okay, so first things first, the first thing I should do here is to keep Truman in the deck for later and secure Nigeria. He has US-Japan pact, and I may use special relationship to break either Pakistan or Thailand and try to break deeper into Asia, or at least provoke him to use a high card like Marshall, not nuclear test ban. Okay, let's drop it. 9, damn it. He has US-Japan and Marshall, and he's generally so fucking rich. Okay. Of course not okay, but... So I should take Algeria, take Libya, I believe, play Nasser eventually. So Algeria 1, Egypt, Libya, that's 5. Too late to take Egypt and Libya. Still let him take it. I'm not really sure about captured Nazi scientist, because This jump isn't really convincing. Then should have taken Libya, especially that he really couldn't take anything more in Asia. The good news for me is that Marshall isn't really that convenient for him, because he should either waste at least 2 to take Turkey or Greece, or accept the fact that I will have fight here. But he made a right call. Maybe I should have broken France instead. Well, it's too late to think about it. Okay, let's play this. This is not gonna be any better as an op. And he's damned everywhere, so I will need a game changer. He should be able to identify my entire hand. Ostensibly not important, but irritating indeed. Okay. Just in case he coups here, let's have good realignment options. Africa and South America are the scorings I didn't want to see. Actually, I didn't want to see any of scorings now. Okay, Africa. Sorry, Africa is actually good. Especially that I have Junta, which is to be headlined and to drop DEFCON. Has unrest. Now I rolled a high roll, and what he did is gaining very much in Africa, and I didn't get any 4-op card again. I had NATO, that was one, and that was it so far. So this hand is, it depends on what I'm doing in Africa, how I end up in Africa. Willy Brandt goes to space, hopefully first. Blockade is gonna be finally eliminated with Che. But it starts looking steamrollish, because if I don't score domination in Africa now, and in Central America quite soon, All the other regions are scoring in his favor, and he's leading the VP track. So I may just not survive long enough to see the tables switched. So the plan for this turn is first to space Willy Brandt, then to try to score African domination. Discard blockade, score South America when it's acceptable, although he may be able to dominate it, but even domination in South America is a 3 VP, whereas a 4 VP swing was here. OAS founded. This wasn't a successful coup, so actually I only need one. So let's place it here. How I learned, it should wait until the last action round to check whether it can provide me mill ops or not. Points from mill ops, I mean. Now he's cooing in Africa, doesn't change the total outcome. So the score is even so far. South America scoring brings it back to -2. But then Camp David. Okay, he's spacing, so South America scoring. And now let's focus on the regions where I can do things. In particular, it's Central America. One point. Southeast Asia is not one of these regions. Of course, in a long term, I will need much more than just these temporary gains. But, well, I have to start with something. And what I have so far is a good something to start with. He looks like he had Southeast Asia scoring, but what else does he have that he gives me the China card? Cultural Revolution or... I don't know. I won't be playing How I Learned to Stop Worrying, because I don't want to allow him realigning such vulnerable West Germany just to gain 2 victory points. So let's perform this coup instead. A strong, albeit a meaningless one. Cultural or Nixon or Ussuri maybe, because Asia is now quite fortified against Ussuri River skirmish. 5-year plan to discard what? Central America scoring? Nuclear subs? It looked a little weird, although it also looked a rich man's choice. Okay. Colombia just to have access to Panama. If he calls me from Mexico, I may try to just break it, go to Guatemala, and I finally, hopefully not too late, got a good, but I mean it, really good hand. The candidates. Colonial Rearguards breaks Southeast Asia ingeniously. Missile Envy is always nice to be played. Whatever damage he does, I can repair it with ABM Treaty. Cuban Missile Crisis can be easily countered with Fidel, which I believe he may have. I think under these circumstances Missile Envy is the most aggressive play. The Voice of America would be good if I had known that he had headlined the scoring card. But I don't know it. Okay, let's attack his hand with Missile Envy. Long Gunman. Okay, if he sees this hand, it's not too painful. Although, of course, I'm now glad that I used Missile Envy. And he can't follow Long Gunman with a big coup. Okay. Maybe I can take France. He puts one here and then follows with Missile Envy. It doesn't work. I will have to make some mess in Europe, of course. But now, of all the regions that I'm waiting to be scored, Middle East is the one I can really attack. And yes, Muslim revolution may hurt. But if by some miracle I can avoid it, well, of course it would be horribly nasty to get quagmired with this hand. Therefore, I'm of course glad I gave him Missile Envy at first place. Because there are absolutely no cards I'd like to discard from this hand. This is worth, this is worth, this is worth because a battleground, and this is worth because a battleground. Alternatively, Can I just clear his influence and access here? And isn't it wasteful? Let's play it this way. It creates a threat. The Voice of America may now take Zaire. A good coup may take Zaire. Arms race influence. Okay, let's cut him off. This sub-region. I'm really not sure about what should I do with the Nixon, but maybe I should just hold it. If you want to use Muslim Revolution, use it now or soon. You want to use Cultural Revolution for influence. This may make sense. Okay, nothing particular to be done, so let's event this. This is always worth eventing. One time or another, this access to Brazil may turn out to be meaningful. Well, I'm not glad you had it. And now there comes decision time. I think Allende is worth playing, even if he could use Kennedy, because I wouldn't discard it anyway, just not worth. Central America is the region worth fighting for. John Paul is worth triggering anyway, with this Europe and Truman still somewhere, and Warsaw Pact and Comecon gone. By the way, I'm really don't know why he didn't fill Poland and Germany with Comecon. I didn't realize it before. Yeah, Kennedy. Nothing to discard. A pity. At least it wasn't a quagmire. And if he doesn't overprotect Thailand, an ABM treaty becomes suddenly a quite strong headline for the next turn. Or I could use the China card, putting 3 in Thailand. And then, one more thing I could do is to play ABM treaty and not coup, earning one more victory point. But I think I'll do it this way. I have both Nixon and ABM treaty, and the main drawback of ABM treaty is that it degrades DEFCON. Middle East scoring and Salt and IBM is not a combo that works. I don't have Muslim Revolution. I have cards I would like to see discarded. But let's play ABM treaty. Oh, and he headlined "We will bury you." So I may coup Thailand now. Or I may just place influence here, and with the remaining op, secure domination in Central America. These 3 VPs are gonna hurt, because I'm not in a good position to lose VPs. But Middle East and Central America give some chance. Salt Negotiations is of course a great card to grab something. Coup with a China card, Mexico, and a failed coup, which I actually like. I just wanted to go to Mexico, but now I am thinking about playing Middle East now, before I see Muslim Revolution. And taking Cuba if he allows, even with the Suez Crisis, later, and holding Fidel while spacing they call, or saving Fidel to discard it to Quagmire. Yeah, let's follow this plan. Because what Suez Crisis does really now is giving him control over Israel and stopping my control. I didn't really want to see this one in the act. But let's try to make use of this +1. My coup card, probably Brezhnev Doctrine. My hold card, Nixon. And maybe something. He wanted really desperately to get into Cuba, and by taking Cuba I can't gain too much now, so I guess this is space-time. And of course, by the end of the turn, I should have Cuba taken. Okay, let's first coup here. The drawback of Salt is that he has mill-ups and I do not. Plus, I'd rather Salt something juicy. Really, really juicy. Plus, what I don't wanna do is to let him escape from DEFCON, seeing his headline and not seeing grain sales before. Okay, I think it's Suez Crisis time, and I'm really not sure whether I'm playing Salt Negotiations for an event or for ops. Of course, this shows him that I have Fiddle. One more thing I can do is to play Salt and use Brezhnev for a coup. Actually, I could use Brezhnev for a coup just now. And this +1 op in a single action round isn't as hurtful. And I'm much more flexible about my AR7 now. Of course, I'm far less flexible against such rolls. So, Salt ABM. I mean, he's not gonna play grain sales anyway, even if DEFCON allows it, so yeah, let's grab a copy of ABM. And he has grain sales. I got Quagmire, which I really like, but I also got Red Scare Perch, which I like even more, because this would make his grain sales unspaceable. I also got our man in Tehran. The obvious hold card is of course Phil. Socialist governments is not the card I welcome here, but purging his hand containing grain sales is worthy, even if DEFCON is at 5 now. things he may be concerned about. If he doesn't have Cuban Missile Crisis, he may be worried about me having Cuban Missile Crisis and degrading DEFCON. If he doesn't have How I Learned to Stop Worrying, he may be concerned about me having How I Learned to Stop Worrying. If he does have it, his grain sales is not a safe play, because if I draw How I Learned, I'm winning, even if he plays it with DEFCON at 5. This means I should probably attempt to not get controlled in Europe. Okay, let's coup Italy, because I have another coup with IBM treaty, and if he disallows it by lowering DEFCON, I can go to West Germany, and this is this one game in 1,000 where placing Marshall Plan's influence into Denmark may be life-saving. And I'm using the China card because I really want to keep ABM treaty for further use. For example, to coup Mexico. Nigeria, I guess. No. Panama, and with success. But not the greatest one. I may still take it. And now my Mexico coup becomes of a vital meaning. My next rolls can be game deciding. Regretfully, I'm probably not going to play our man in Tehran this turn, which I would like to, because this increases chance to discard unwanted scorings, like Asia and Europe. Note, by the way, that Asia and Europe became the only unwanted scorings now. What? One small step for ops, not for the event. Now? Okay, I think this was a mistake. Should have rolled one more. Should have remembered about this one. Okay, then. Let's score it even, as it was even for a long time. Puppet governance. Where can puppets be helpful now? This is scored, this is scored. How close am I to equalize Europe? It's moot to attempt anything in Asia. Okay, this may provide some realignment option somewhere in the future. This may be helpful to some extent, and countries in Europe, taking into account Romania, I may need more. I feel this is more important. And yeah, let's hunt for the VPs and try not to stay with that bad hand. And let's wait for what he offers me. The Reformer would be a nasty card, hadn't I spaced? Now the Reformer space. Decor or Fiddle hold. Yeah. Okay, the most important and life-saving card here is our man in Tehran, so I have to headline this one. So I'm playing the entire hand, so I'm giving him Decol and Fiddle as the events, and Marine Barracks bombing. I'm not giving him the Reformer, and I may avoid giving him Flower Power. Goodbye Willebrand. Goodbye Iran-Iraqi war. Am I saying goodbye to Africa scoring? Very annoying that I can't see the whole Africa. No, let's keep Africa in the deck. It decreases chance of drawing Europe scoring, or Asia scoring, or war games, and it's not gonna be deadly. However, now I don't really have good views of winning this game anyhow. Whatever could go wrong went wrong. I will need this anyway. I think I'm playing an Evil Empire for an event. as of decal, it's not particularly harmful in Southeast Asia, and it should be repairable in Africa, although I should take care of Tunisia. Fido is the most painful card, so before I play it, I should take care of Cuban adjacency. Reformer to space, Marine Barracks for self-reparation, Decal for self-reparation, and Evil Empire for an event. So the flower power is the only card I'm making use of with the ops. But maybe I won't really be triggering an Evil Empire. I wonder why did he put an influence in Cuba? Did he forget my Fido, or didn't he realize that I am unable to space Fido? He is able to space cards. Okay, I may never get a better moment to play Fido. I may also never get a worse series of rolls. Okay, the Reformer should be spaced first, before I decide about an Evil Empire. Because, yes, now you're repairing things here. Because if I succeed, which I failed because now I'm rolling high, then this victory point from an Evil Empire would drop to just 7, and this could be important for wargames. Now he's preparing the red map for the final scoring, as if it wasn't ready enough now. Wait, where was the third one? Turkey. I'm not a fan of his Turkish decision, but whatever makes him happy, whatever works for him. Okay. Here and yak. It's a tough game, I must say. And I believe it's gonna be a lost one. Not that this really matters. Let's first play Decal, because it may turn out that things are gonna be more urgent. To do with Marine Barracks bombing than just repairing what it does in Middle East. Tunisia was a nice one. Preparing realignments against Algeria. And this was a nice one too. I bet he takes from Egypt now. So I'm taking Lebanon and retaking Tunisia, hoping for some AWACS to bring Middle Eastern domination back to me. Don't like this Europe scoring I get, because tearing down this wall can't really help me even if I roll a 6 against Italy, and of course I have to try this. I rolled a 5. About other cards, there's nothing really to say. If he has Africa scoring, which I didn't discard, this is a deadly turn for me, and that's simply the game over. But what else could I do in the meantime is an open question, of course. I would tell you where can you put this NATO now, but I believe you're wise enough to realize it yourself. Okay, let's try to be the first in space. Yeah, at least this worked. I really wonder for how long time. So now let's continue with playing the best cards first. Hoping for some lucky terrorism. Am I lucky here? Let's try it. I'm not. This wasn't spectacularly unlucky, at least. If he coups Nicaragua, Ortega will just be a freer choice. Yep. Okay, so let's try to finish our job here. Seven, yeah. Totally destroying and lost game. Please terrorize me now and draw Europe scoring. Nope. South America scoring, how nice to see you now. East Europeans unrest, how nice to see you so late. So what are we doing with this great hand? Okay, let's headline defectors and defect Africa scoring, which would be winning on the spot. So you have Asia scoring, haven't you? You have Middle East scoring, haven't you? No, you have this scoring. So, thank you for watching and see you next time. Blah blah blah.